Good morning. I'm glad to be here. I'm going to speak to you today about selling with passion and conviction. And I hope you can listen fast. I came from the hospitality industry. I learned a pile of things there that I now use in this industry. And I think there's a lot of us that can learn things from our previous industry that we can transition into here. Now, when I served a table, I would go up to them after dinner and I'd say, would you like to try an amazing dessert? And they'd say, well, what do you have in mind? And I would say, well, the dessert I'm thinking about hasn't got a name, but let me describe it to you. So what you do is you take a bowl of strawberries, a bowl of sour cream, and a bowl of brown sugar. And what you do is you take the strawberry and you dip it into sour cream. And then you take it and put it into the golden brown sugar. And you just let it sit there. And the sour cream will start to melt the brown sugar. And you visit with people at the table and you chat and you visit. And when the sour cream starts to caramelize, then you take a big bite or pop the whole thing into your mouth. And wow, it's a flavor sensation that most people have never tasted before. And when people try it, they'll say, you know, that was amazing. That was one of the best things I've tried recently. So in this business, what we need to do is we need to paint a picture, because a picture is worth 1,000 words. The other thing we need to do is we need to be able to tell a story that teaches a concept or a principle in our business. See, I don't pull any punches. When I talk to people, I let them know right up front, I do not like traditional or conventional banks. It's my personal opinion that they are corrupt. Mm-hmm. And I want to do everything I can to take money from them. Okay? It's just a passion that I have that I want to be able to do that. So I ask people, so how many years have you been dealing with a bank? 20, 30, 40 years? And over all of that time, have the banks ever taught you the rules to the money game? No. And my question is, why not? See, I think it's important that we understand that the rules to anything are important. Okay, if we want to win, we have to understand the rules and we have to be able to teach them. So let's take an example. Monopoly. The rules are important to Monopoly, to any game, to soccer, to cricket, to basketball, to baseball. So let's take a picture of a baseball here. So in a normal game of baseball, there are 8 players on the field at any given time, and there's 9 innings. So let's say that you and 7 of your friends invite me and 7 of my friends to play baseball, but you don't teach us the rules. We're at a great disadvantage, aren't we? Now, let's say that in the first inning, I get up to bat and I hit this ball out into left field. And oh my goodness, I feel so great. I start running down the first baseline and the umpire calls me out, "You're out!" And I go, "How can that be? The ball's still out in left field." And the umpire says, "Well, when you hit the ball, you stepped on home plate. You've got to stay in the batter's box." And I go, like, wouldn't that have been nice to know? So the next time I get up to bat again, and I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm going to stay in the batter's box. So I hit this ball out into center field, and I start running down to first. I turn, start going to second. I'm going, oh, I'm a little nervous that I'm going to get put out. So I turn and start walking back to first, and the ball comes whizzing over my shoulder. The first baseman catches it and tags me, and the umpire calls me out. And I go, how can that be? I made it here safe. And the umpire said, well, if you make it to first and you turn right into the foul side, you can come back and take as long as you want. But if you turn left and you start moving towards second base, you've got to make it back before you get tagged out. And I go, well, wouldn't that have been nice to know? Excuse me. Yeah. So now we end up losing the game. not because I didn't have the capability, not because I wasn't a good athlete. It's just that nobody taught me the rules, okay? And isn't it like life and money? We ended up learning the rules through trial and error, through the school of hard knocks. See, one of the first things I think is our responsibility is to teach people the rules to the money game. And one of the first rules in there is called the rule of 72. The rule of 72 has to do with compound interest. Einstein said, as a matter of fact, Einstein said compound interest was the eighth wonder of the world. It was better than the Great Wall of China. It was greater than the Taj Mahal. He said the compound interest was absolutely amazing. See, money and interest, they work 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. It does not book off sick. Einstein also said that he who understands interest will earn it, and he who doesn't understand interest will pay it. So my question is, what side of the ledger do you think most people want to be on? They want to earn it, right? So again, I believe it's our responsibility, once we know certain things, that we share it with others. And I think it's important that we teach people how money works. Now, the banks aren't going to do it, okay? These conventional and traditional banks, they're just not going to teach it. As a matter of fact, they don't even teach their employees how money works. And again, I don't have a problem with the people that work in the banks. I think they're trying to do the best they can. I just have a problem with the banking establishment. I just think that it's terribly corrupt. Now, when we look at the rule of 72, the rule of 72 is a paramount importance, especially if we totally and completely understand it. See, the banks, they tell us the money that we put on deposit is guaranteed. In Canada, it's called CDIC insurance, okay? So they tell us it's guaranteed. But when I ask people, I say, how many years have you been dealing with the bank? Again, 10, 20, 30 years. And in that time, have they ever told you what you pay to have your money guaranteed? Now, wouldn't that be important to know what the guarantee is on the money we put on deposit, what it costs us? So let's take a look at a 29-year-old, okay? This 29-year-old, they go down to their bank and they've saved up $10,000, and they ask the bank, what is the best rate of return? What's the best interest that you're going to pay me? And they say, right now, and we're going to err in favor of the bank, they're going to pay us 4% guaranteed. But nobody knows what 4% means on money over time. But the rule of 72 helps us learn that. So what the rule of 72 says is you take 4%, you divide it into 72, and the answer will tell you the number of years that it will take for your money to double. So if we look at this, in 18 years, this person's going to be 47. And then in another 18 years, they're going to be 65. So that money will have grown from $10,000 to $40,000. Now, that's not bad considering, pardon? Okay. So we understand that it's important to understand where money goes. So now let's say that I can teach a person how to double their interest rate. I can teach them how to get twice as much. So instead of 4%, I get them 8%. So if 4% will give them $40,000 and I can double the rate, instead of $40,000, how much do you think the person will have? The most common answer that I get is 80,000. But let's use the rule of 72. Rule of 72 says you take the 8% divided into 9. It will double when the person is 38, when they're 47, when they're 56, and when they're 65. So this is the magic of compound interest. You double the interest rate, but you 4 times the end result. Now, let's say the banks, okay, only get 4 percentage points better. So they're now earning 12%. Now, they're earning way more than that. But if they're earning 12%, 12 goes into 72 how many times? 6 times. So again, that 29-year-old has left that money on deposit. The money's working for the bank. So at 35, 41, 47, 53, 59, and 65. So the bank has now earned $640,000 on whose money? And whose pocket should that be in? Now, this doesn't all belong to the bank, because if the bank has made 640 and they've got to pay $40,000 guaranteed, that means that they get to keep $600,000. And in this example, that's what the cost of the guarantee is cost. We get $40,000 guaranteed, but the bank gets to keep $60,000. Now think of family members that you have, friends and family. How many of them would want to know about this? Now I've done you a bit of a disservice, because now that you know this, how long are you going to let this continue to happen? Now, when we think about, again, how many financial errors do we need to make during our working lifetime before we're robbed of a comfortable retirement? So I think that as we know more, it is beholding upon us to share others what we come to know. I want to thank you for your time and your patience today. Have a great conference. Thank you.
Hey, if you like this video or any of the other videos that I have on my channel, stay tuned. We have so many more coming, but I want to make sure that you're in the know, that you know when they're coming. So please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and make sure you hit the notification bell.